What's up guys, it's Widgeon TV here. All over the state of West Virginia, you can find small towns that are infamous for being the home of one of West Virginia's many famous cryptids. But up north, only about 100 miles away, lies the town of Loveland, Ohio. This town mirrors the towns of West Virginia, because it is also known as the home of a famous cryptid. Loveland, Ohio is the home of the Loveland frog monster. Here is its story. Today we continue our profile of Fallout 76's newly added creatures. If you haven't seen my other videos on the Scorch Beast, Snallygaster, or the Flatwoods monster, I highly recommend going and watching those videos. Alright, just like the Scorch Beast, the Loveland frog monster is technically foreign to West Virginia, and is not confirmed to be the inspiration to the creature that we see in the trailer when Todd Howard is talking about the cryptids. But because of the Loveland frog monster's proximity to Fallout 76's map, living only 100 miles away, and its similar appearance to the creature we see in the trailers, I think we have enough evidence to assume these two creatures are related. And if not, it's still a fun story characterizing America's infatuation with the unknown. Alright, according to various legends, this creature was first sighted in 1955. There are 3 different versions of the story that only differ slightly from each other. The 3 stories basically start out the same way. They start out with a businessman or a traveling salesman driving along an unnamed road late at night. The stories start to diverge at this point. In one story, the driver was heading out of the Branch Hill neighborhood when he spotted 3 figures stood erect on their hind legs, standing alongside the road, each about 3 or 4 feet in height. They all had leathery skin and frog faces. In the 2 other versions of the story, the creatures were spotted under a poorly lit bridge. The story tells of the businessman watching the figures converse for a while until one of the creatures pulled out what could only describe as a wizard's wand. The creature then held the object over its head and shot a spray of sparks into the air, startling the observer into fleeing the scene. This story of the wizard frog monster definitely kickstarted this legend because of the wacky headline. But in 1972, new life was given to this story. A Loveland police officer named Roy Shockery was driving along Riverside Drive near the Totes Boot Factory and the Little Miami River when an unidentified animal scurried across the road in front of the vehicle. The animal was fully illuminated in the vehicle's headlights. Officer Shockery described it as being 3 or 4 feet tall, again, just like the story before. But he went a little bit further, describing it as being 50 to 70 pounds with leathery skin and a frog-like face. He reported spotting the animal crouched like a frog before it stood erect and climbed over a guardrail and back down towards the river. 2 weeks after this event, another police officer stepped forward with a story that seemed like it may give Officer Shockery's story a ton of credibility, because a second police officer named Mark Matthews reported seeing an unidentified animal crouched along the road in the same area as the Shockery sighting. But in this case, Matthews pulled out his revolver and shot the animal and recovered the body, so there would be no mistaking what they saw. He put it in his trunk to show to Officer Shockery. According to Matthews, it was a large iguana, about 3 or 3.5 feet long, and he didn't immediately recognize it as an iguana because it was missing its tail. Matthews speculated that the iguana had been someone's pet that either got loose or was released when it grew too large. According to Matthews, Shockery was shown the dead iguana and confirmed it was the animal that he had seen 2 weeks previously. So after all of these events with the 2 police officers, you may be asking, well, why is this even considered an urban legend then? Well, the first story did have some credibility to it, but the main reason that this story still lives on today is the fact that Matthews recounted the incident to an author of a book about urban legends, giving the author every single detail that happened and telling the story that happened in 1955. Matthews said that he gave great detail, but in the end, he says that the author omitted the part that confirmed the creature was just an iguana, rather than a frogman. Thus, hysteria mounted, rumors spread, and an urban legend was born. Now, you might think the story of the Loveland frog monster ends here, but unlike many other cryptids I have covered, there was a fairly recent sighting of this creature, a sighting with video evidence. In August of 2016, 2 teenagers, while playing Pokemon Go, spotted a creature hunched over in a nearby river. The teens took this picture after the creature lurched forward onto its hind legs and started walking in the shallow water. At this point, the second teen started recording the creature with his phone. Here is that video. So does a endangered and unidentified reptile live in Loveland? Or are all of these stories the result of mistaken identity? Well, unfortunately, we may never get the answer to this question. So that's the story of the Loveland frog monster. Now's the part of the video that I normally go into, speculating about what role the frog monster will play in Fallout 76. But honestly, with this cryptid, I literally have no idea. We only have 3 or 4 seconds of video of this creature, and some concept art that shows off that it has little hands, but that's basically it. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out my small channel. I'm putting out new Fallout videos all the time. If you have any good ideas, let me know in the comments below or on Twitter, which you should go follow me on. Anyway, this has been Widgeon TV. Thanks for watching, guys.